Calling all brand new business owners, this week's episode is just for you. You know, one of my favorite things about interviewing guests on Boutique Chat is I feel so lucky to get to talk to store owners of all types and all sizes and all backgrounds. But I hear you guys when you're saying, hey, I don't want to just learn from people who have been there for a while. I want to hear from people who are in the thick of it, who are just getting started and figuring it out as they go. And that's why this week's guest is so important. Pam Colon is the owner and founder of Muted Closet. And Pam was also our giveaway winner here at the Boutique Hub when we ran a contest a few weeks ago asking, what do you want to hear of on the show? And would you be our guest expert? Pam was the perfect person for this because today we're going to dive deep into what it's been like for her to start her business, how she's grown organically with word of mouth and vendor pop-up events, how she's really used collaborations to her advantage, and now all the way working until her 1-year anniversary, which is right around the corner. How is she going to celebrate and how is she going to continue her workflow going forward? Now, Pam's story is also really unique because she is also a teacher working full-time and operating her business. And I know that resonates with so many of you trying to juggle 2 careers while you grow your business on the side until the point where your business can fully take over. So without further ado, this week's episode is awesome. I am so excited that Pam was our guest giveaway winner because her story is excellent. Meet my friend Pam Cologne, the owner and founder of Muted Closet. Let's talk about your business, strategy, and the juicy details of what actually works, from mainstream fashion to fashion on Main Street, and the entire ecosystem behind it. How do we scale your company and do it with the balance and the happiness that we all seek? Let's hear from those insiders, experts, and strategists that actually make it happen. I'm your host, Ashley Alderson from the Boutique Hub, and I can't wait to chat. All right, hey guys, welcome back. I have a very special guest today. Pam, I'm so happy that you're here. I don't know if everyone listening remembers, but we had a contest a couple weeks ago about submitting your ideas for the podcast, and we had a guest interview giveaway. And Pam, you had such great answers on things that you wanted to talk about and your own experience and journey owning a boutique. So you are our guest winner. Congrats on being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. Because even before like the giveaway thing, I was like, I would love to be just a guest on the podcast, but I'm not obviously this big boutique. So it was perfect. And I'm so happy that I won the giveaway. So it's exciting.
I'm excited too. And I love that you said that because I get that feedback once in a while. People are like, hey, can you just have a new boutique? Like a lot of times have stores that have been around so that we can hear their lessons they've learned over time. But there's also so much value in just learning from, hey, I'm right in the thick of figuring it out. It's my first year. Here's what I've learned so far. Here's what I wish I would have known. And here's where we're headed. Sure. So I love that you and I are going to get to talk about all that today.
Me too.
Perfect. All right. So on that note, give us the backstory. What made you want to start a boutique and how did you get to this point so far?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to start one since I was little, but it was always just like a thought. And I was like, I'm never going to do it because it's this and that. And it's kind of like in my head, it was impossible. And then one day it was really weird. I was sleeping. I woke up at 4 a.m. The name came to my mind. Everything came to my mind. Then that same day, I could not sleep. I started doing all the fun business financial stuff, getting the tax ID and everything. It's something I've always wanted to do. The only thing that was holding me back really was just being scared of like failure and what if this happens, what if that happens. But I was like, I can't live my life like that forever because then I'll never be happy. But I'm excited because it's been obviously, it's a roller coaster. There's some times that are really amazing. And there's sometimes obviously where I have to like sit back and reevaluate everything, but I'm happy I made the decision.
That's so good. Do you feel like once you made that decision and you started to put the pieces together, that right away you had support, like you had a great system around you and people that were like, yes, let's do it. And that helped you overcome some of that fear right off the bat?
I think that definitely helped me. My family, friends, boyfriend, even the local Rochester community was so supportive. even other local businesses on Instagram and Facebook were reaching out, were buying stuff, which was super nice because I did not expect that much support just starting off. But I feel like if I did not have that support, it would be really hard for me to keep on going. So
Mhm.
I feel like having that strong community is really helping me and having those positive models around me.
I love that. Tell me more about the setup of your business. So you're in Rochester, New York,
Mhm.
but you're working full time and you're starting this business. Tell me about like what that all looks like.
Yes. So I've been teaching for 5 years. I teach third grade special ed, bilingual. So it's fun. There's never a dull moment. I love it. And I'm also, I was like, I need to do something else. I opened up my boutique, my online boutique. And when I opened it, I did it over the summer. So I was not working. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'll see how it goes. Obviously, in the summertime, I was working on it day and night, day and night. And
yeah,
then once I started to work full time again, it was kind of a huge transition. Like I know getting home from work, I'd go in at like 7, get out at 4:30. The last thing I wanted to do is take pictures and do this and do that. And I'm just like, so I really had to like sit down and think to myself, like, I'm gonna put at least on Wednesdays 2 hours to focus on this, an hour to focus on this. And I feel like giving myself those times really helped me because otherwise I was just, I don't really want to take a picture. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this because I'm tired. But having those times really helped me out. So,
that's helpful. So I love that you're a teacher. There's lots of teachers in the boutique community or former teachers in the boutique community. So many similarities. How else did you feel like you had to set boundaries or set a schedule so that you knew you're able to accomplish everything you needed to?
I did have to set a lot of boundaries because at first I found myself, just it can be mentally draining. Like very
Yeah.
mentally draining. And was like, I'm doing something wrong because I'm on Instagram online 10 hours trying to figure stuff out. I'm like, but what am I doing? That's why I joined Boutique Hub because I needed some guidance because I was completely lost.
Yeah.
All I pretty much knew was, I'll buy some clothes, I'll do this. And obviously it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful I joined Boutique Hub because even the Facebook community there is very helpful. I learned so much through there and through like the little podcast and through a little retail boot camp and stuff like that. That really helps out a lot. So,
I love it. Well, thank you for that. I
of
wasn't expecting
course.
you to say that, but I appreciate
Of
it. And
course.
that's the goal, right? To make
Yes.
your life easier and to feel like you have steps to follow and you aren't just trying to figure it out on your own and you're in a community that you trust that's absolutely been there before. One thing when you and I were talking earlier, you were talking about just the importance of community over competition and what that's meant in this process for you so far.
Mhm.
Tell me how you leaned into that and like what shifts that's made for you.
Yeah. So when I first started, obviously I knew it was going to be, it takes time. I obviously knew that part. But I started comparing myself to, companies like Pink Lily and other companies and this and that, and even some local companies that are doing super well. But then I found myself, I was looking more at their stuff and just kind of making myself feel upset. Like I was like, look how beautiful this store is. Why, why this, why that? But it was kind of like a mind shift. I really had to say, like, I'm spending all that negative energy and it's mentally draining to me. So I kind of started looking at it in a positive way, like, what is this business doing that's attracting so many customers? And it honestly is exciting seeing what other boutiques are doing now because you get so many ideas. And I have a friend who opened up a boutique as well online. So we're kind of like each other's support system. So obviously, we're supporting each other because it's just a lot easier to get through,
Mm.
business doing that. You feel better, your mind feels better, you feel happier. Because if you're comparing yourself, it is the most mentally draining thing. So I had to really do that mind shift, and I'm happy I did because if I didn't, I feel like I would needed closet wouldn't be around anymore. Honestly, because it really is a mental thing.
Yeah, it is. really the difference in looking at someone and rather than saying, look at where they are,
Uh-huh.
how come I'm not there yet? And instead looking at them and saying, oh my gosh, look at where they are. Look at what I know is possible and I can do it too. And that's such a different feeling at the end of the day. So I love that, you recognize that in yourself, but you also have someone to help hold you accountable to that mindset because man, I mean, there's ups and
Oh
downs
yeah.
and no one's immune to facing them. We're all going to go through the ups and the downs and you have to be able to maintain throughout.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about just also maintaining that mindset when you're tired and when you're still trying to work full time and run the boutique. Are there other like systems or processes, or have you been able to reach out and ask for help with others, like maybe part time staff or friends to help you in your boutique as well?
Yeah, so honestly, this you're gonna be like, she's just saying it because she's on the show. But listening to your podcast had been very inspiring, only because I found myself that when I am in one of those moods where I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? Even listening to something kind of makes my mood have a little bit more hope. It's kind of funny to explain, but it makes me feel better. And I also try to, I had to really reflect and sit back and, really think about the long term. Instead of just looking at it, oh, where am I now? It's kind of more envisioning like, okay, what could it be 5 years from now? It could be this, it could be that. Because obviously in life, there's so many ups and downs that it's just so unpredictable, and working full time. And with that can be super stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like mindset and just having like a routine. Like I said, like I'm trying to get myself accountable. My goal is to work out more because it helps. I've only done it once in the past 3 months, but we're going to get there. So, doing stuff like that relaxes my mind, and that way I can focus and use that positive energy
Yeah.
towards my business and work and all that stuff.
Yeah, I love that. Have you started like when you think about theme days in your business, like where there's certain days you're doing X, Y, and Z so that you can balance both working and running the boutique at the same time and you can still get the most important things done?
Yeah. So I forgot which boutique I was looking at. It was so long ago, but other ones do it as well. Um, they have set days for different things. So, for example, there was, I started doing a throwback Thursday. So, one of my old inventories I would post on Thursday if I still have it in stock. I try doing giveaways at least once a month, only because it can, it can generate a new audience, new people to look at your stuff. I've been doing destashes as well online, and that helps a lot with like my old inventory. And I feel like the biggest thing too is I told myself I'm going to give myself 30 minutes on this day, let's say it's Wednesday, to interact with other people on social media. Whether it's liking their
Mhm.
picture, commenting, and not people like I particularly know, but people that are like in that area, just kind of
Yeah.
making those connections with like local community, with other people. I feel like that setting those times has really helped a lot.
Yeah, that is helpful. How else? I know you are a mobile boutique, like you do pop ups and vendor events. How else in your first year of business have you really worked on getting the word out about your business?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because when I was in school, I was such a private person. I would not talk. So for me, having to get my name out there was really awkward because I'm super quiet. Well, not anymore, but I was super quiet to myself. And I'm like, I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want to be like those people who are doing, hey, buy this, buy that. I don't want to turn anyone off. So it was
Yeah.
really hard for me. So I really had to be like, if I don't market myself, nothing's going to happen. So I feel like with time, I got a lot more comfortable. So I feel like a lot of it too, like I said, I do as many pop-ups and vending shows as I can, teaming up with
Yeah.
local businesses. And I also try to as well, if there's local giveaways, I enter in those and I do community events. So for example, I'm doing Rochester Fashion Week within a few weeks. And it's an organization. So all that money is going to go towards a charity. And it's a huge event here in Rochester. So I'm really excited to do that. So I feel like a lot of it is just like building, those relationships. Because I've met some people at my vending shows that honestly have been the best customers ever. So like forming those relationships are so important. But yeah, I like doing that. And I have these little business cards. And if I see like a store or not a store, like a bakery or a local restaurant, some of them have like a little
Yeah.
table where they have other places, put their business card. I always keep some in like a little stack, like I'll put them there. Um, but yeah, it's a lot about, just trying to work really hard, getting your name out there, especially being online because it's hard because online people want to try stuff on. They want to
Yeah.
does this fit, does this not fit? So that's kind of like one of the disadvantages of being online, that you really they don't get to try stuff on. But it's online and everyone likes online shopping, so you don't have to leave. So I'm still working around that, and I want to continue doing more local stuff and getting my name out there more and more.
Absolutely. Do you find like, I'm sure with all the vendor events and pop-ups that you've done, you found ways to streamline that process. So what are some quick tips you wish you would have known earlier when starting vendor events and pop-ups to make the experience so much better?
Okay, so my first one, it was a learning experience. So I I was like, I'll just have a rack of clothes and I'll do this, I'll do that. I got my little square thing, which is great. I was excited. But then I was at the vending event and I was like, I don't have bags, I don't have cash, and I don't even have the prices on anything. So I was freaking out. I told my boyfriend, I was like, you need to go somewhere, you need to get some bags. And I was like, get white bags because they're neutral. He got me these pink, blue, orange bags. I was like, okay. And after that, I was just like, I need to like figure this out because it was so stressful. And luckily that event there, it was very like, mellow. There weren't that many people. It was a good learning thing. And everyone else was really great over there. And I guess what has really helped me is obviously you learn something new with every single one you go to. I try to do a checklist of everything that I need. Make sure I have everything. Obviously, bags, cards. I feel
Yeah.
like cards are really important because the amount of people that ask you for your information if they're not buying, it's crazy.
Mhm.
And then also, has really helped me a lot. It's super random, but I found it having like a little stack of like claw clips or hair stuff really attracts people. Because I've noticed that every time I have like a little pop up and I have those things there to just kind of catch their eye, I get a lot of traffic. But yeah, I guess it's really just like planning and not the night before, like 3-4 days before, and getting everything
Yeah.
in boxes, your clothes, the racks, putting prices on stuff, which is super important. Charging your phone, doing this. I feel like you learn something
Yeah.
new every single time.
That's so true. Have you built yourself, I'm sure, like just a checklist to make your life easier? Like, check, check, check. I'm ready to
Yeah,
go. I've
I
got all
had
these
to because
things.
otherwise I'd be like, what am I gonna forget today? So it's gotten a
Yeah.
lot better, luckily. So now I feel like I feel great, I feel confident. So I guess it's just having everything like prepared, like everything that you need. And I would do
Yeah.
it 3 and 4 days in advance because that way the next day you may wake up and be like, oh wait, I need this too. I need that.
Yeah.
So that way any last minute things you can put into there. So that
Yes.
helped.
Are you also working on like collecting email addresses while you're at the vendor event and just so you have like follow up? I always think about like this, and you've probably already heard me talk about this in a retail boot camp, but every vendor event that we go to has a hard ROI and a soft ROI. So there's the sales that we can make,
Mhm.
great, like we can calculate hard ROI, but the brand exposure and the email address and then the follow up funnel, there's even more potential for growth there.
No, for sure. So at my first pop-up, that was the one of the only things I did right. One of the only things. I had a little clipboard, and it was like you had to sign your name and write your email. And of course, that was like, it could be entered to win a $25 gift card because you need something that, grab their attention. And that
Yeah.
helped a lot with emails and, because it's easy to underestimate like the power that email still has because you're like, everyone's
Absolutely.
on Instagram and Facebook, they don't check their emails, but in reality, everybody
Mhm.
checks their email. So I'm still working on growing my subscriber list, because that way, they are in to know about everything. So that's really helping out a lot. So I'll do that at my next pop-up as well.
Are you carrying home and gift products in your store, add-ons and upsells and decor and all the things to round out your retail experience? Well, if so, I want to invite you to save the date for our Hubventory Feature Week featuring all home and gift on June 19th through the 23rd. During this week, you're going to shop exclusives by a number of brands on Hubventory. You're going to be able to plan collections by using our pinnable boards to help you shop smarter on Hubventory. Plus, if you're a Hub member, don't forget about those Hub member discounts. Hundreds of brands have discounts built into their products just for you on hubventory.com. So save the date for our Home and Gift Feature Week, June 19th through the 23rd on hubventory.com. When you look back, your 1 year anniversary is coming up in, did you say June or July?
June.
June? Oh man, so good. So in your first year of business, if you look back, what are two things that you could change or do different or do sooner in your business in the first year?
So one thing which I highly recommend, and I'm in the process of doing now, I don't know why I waited so long, is getting an accountant.
Yes.
Because I was like, this is going to be easy. I'll be able to do my own stuff and this and that. And then come quarterly taxes, I'm like, do I know what I'm doing? So I feel like doing that is super important because you can do all your bookkeeping, and just getting someone that you can trust to get that financial stuff. That's one less stress. And then also another one is inventory. Because when I first started shopping, I was thinking more like, oh, what would I like? I would wear this. Would I wear that? Would I wear this? And I wasn't really, envisioning, oh, what may this customer want? What do you think will attract them? So it's funny how that works out, because half the time, a lot of the stuff that's my favorite is just chilling there. But the stuff that I'm like, it's okay, is the one that sells the quickest. So it's interesting to see how it is, because you never really know. And also, unless you're an influencer, I wouldn't recommend this, but I overbought inventory. So too much inventory, and it's just overwhelming. So obviously, I would be more strategic with how I did stuff, because you don't want to be all mixed up with your financials and this and that. So the social media part I had down, great. And the website, it was just all the little behind the scene things that make such a difference.
Yeah.
Like, definitely get an accountant, organize with inventory and all that stuff. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. And especially when you're working full time and running the business, there's such a retail art side of the brain and a retail science side of the brain. Some people are blessed to have both, and some of us are not. I'm not, right? I'm definitely more the art side. So to have someone who can be the analytical person in your business relationship, that's huge.
Exactly.
Accountants are.
Yeah, I was like, this is really easy. I could do it. And then I was like, nope.
Yeah, on the corner of like, I could do it, but should I do it? Two totally different questions.
I got our time zones wrong today. It's what's speaking for itself.
Hey, we don't need to tell anybody that. Right? That's no problem.
Secret.
What do you feel like in your first year of business has been the best business advice that you've been given?
I would feel an organic growth in building that relationship with your customers. Because I know a lot of people are like, I'm starting off, let me buy my followers off here, buy my followers of that. But what people don't realize is that it's not generating authentic people and audiences, and it's actually being, negative to your algorithm and stuff. So those relationships, so even like, I feel like local businesses have helped out a lot. Just following them, keeping with the community, talking to your customers, even if it's not business related, like happy birthday, doing this, doing that. Oh, it's a beautiful picture, because you want to make them feel also like, obviously you do care about them. And it's not only just the business side, because you'd be surprised that, how much they can trust you and, with all that other stuff. So I feel like building relationships is the most important thing, because it keeps people coming.
Yeah, that's so true. Tell me more. I know you've done such a great job collaborating with your local business community. What are some other ways, like you're engaging with them on social? Have you done any
Mhm.
just like cold outreach to introduce yourself and say, hey, I'd love to work with you?
So yeah, so I've done that, and at first I was like, what if they say no? What if they do this? But everyone's been so great, and it's fun doing it. And I've also been trying to, one thing on my to-do list is this year, I want to get my stuff into like a local hair salon or something like that, because
Mhm.
that gives you so much exposure. So that is one goal I have for myself this year, is to try to get, some of my pieces into like a local salon, something like that. Because it is also building community. And, but yeah, social media is super important. I had to start doing reels, and the first few were really awkward. And I think I deleted them since then, but it's just, getting in, you have to know what people are looking at, what they like, what is trending. And obviously it's like half the time I'm like, okay, can I do this without being like super cringy and this and that? But yeah, I feel like it's social media is free marketing. So I feel like that's super important, and it gets your name out there.
It absolutely is critical. And you're so right. I think all of us have deleted some of our very first reels
Oh
and
yeah.
posts and live. Like the very first time I think I went Facebook Live, I felt like Ricky Bobby on Talladega Nights. Like, wow, what do you do with your hands? I have no idea. But we've all been there for sure.
That's one thing I have not done that I'm still kind of scared to do, but I want to do a live. Um, I want to, but I'm kind of scared, but I know it's super good for you.
Yeah.
So I'll put that on my to-do list as
It's
well.
super good for you. You're gonna message me and I'm gonna tune in. I'll be your first viewer on your first Facebook Live. We're
Yes.
gonna make that deal.
Perfect. Perfect.
I Something else that I know you've mentioned that's been really helpful to you in your first year of business is just managing the mindset of the highs and lows. And we kind of touched on this at the beginning of our conversation, but I want to go back to it because it's so important. We all have like those really encouraging and discouraging days, but are there other habits or practices that have really helped you just to come back to here's where I am, here's where I'm going, and to just keep confident in what you're working on every day?
I feel like kind of an accountability partner really
Yeah.
helps out a lot, because everyone's going to have those days. Even the most successful people are going to have those days where
Uh-huh.
they're feeling down. And business is, like I said, a roller coaster, because you never really know what the economy, things are going up and down. But having someone, that works in business, an accountability partner that kind of understands the highs and the lows, that has really helped me as well. And of course, talking to my family and stuff as well. But mostly people that are in your field or can relate, I feel like that helps, because then okay, I'm not the only one going through it. There's other people going through it, and they got through it, so I can too. Because the biggest thing I see as well, just recently, I've been seeing a lot of like local and just kind of other online boutiques closing after like
Mhm.
less than a year or a year of being in business. Um, and I feel like for me, I could have been at that point if I didn't change my mindset, because it's so easy to do. So I just feel like, having that accountability partner and looking at the long term instead of just like, short term, like right now I don't have anything or that, because it takes a while. I think I read somewhere, I don't even know where, that it takes 3 years to like for your online boutique to actually start making profit. So that's what I keep in the back of my
Mhm.
mind to make me feel better. So
Yeah, it's such a journey, and I think like the first year, and if not the first year, the first 2 years, like it's a lot of just investing to see what's going to work, and then taking all of your profit and reinvesting it until you can get that flow. And the organic traffic is such a key to it. How many people can I get on my email list? How many people can I get in my Facebook group? How many people can I get to my website? And
exactly.
just incrementally building every step of the way. Yes. All right, Pam, other quick questions for you.
Yes.
In your first year of business,
Hmm.
best book that you've read or listened to?
My best book.
Yes.
So I honestly do not remember the name, but I have it over here so I can show you. Hold on. It is called Unclutter Your Soul. And
Oh,
for me, I like reading a lot of like motivational books. I like everything, but I've been really into motivational books lately. Because I guess that also helps when I'm feeling down. So I've been into motivational books and just kind of, make myself feel better. So it's
yes.
one of my favorites.
All right. So besides books that are motivating, what podcasts are you listening to that are motivating or other channels that you follow that give you inspiration?
Well, of course, like I mentioned, your podcast is very inspiring. And I also did join a group called Boss Babes. They're also super inspiring because it's kind of like the same concept as Boutique Hub. And it's great having so many different communities. So it's everyone with the same like-minded goals, entrepreneurs, and working together, collaborating. And I just feel like just how positive people are and like their podcasts make you want to keep going and going and going, and you learn so many new things. So I've been
Yeah.
trying to get signed up for as many things as I can. I also did join a local little it's like Rock Girl Bosses, a little thing as well. It's like local Rochester girls and their businesses, and they're super encouraging too. So I've been trying to get, all that fun stuff, trying to connect and listen to a little bit of everything.
Awesome. You had to fill your cup. Keep filling that cup.
Exactly.
All right. So I know you're coming up on your 1 year anniversary. How do you plan to celebrate?
So, of course, a big giveaway. I'm really into giveaways. And I want to do something like special. It's like memorable. Like I want to build that momentum. Um, I'm thinking I have different ideas in mind, but I'm trying to decide between different ones. But I know I definitely want it to be something that people would go back on my social media to obviously check up
Mhm.
on. So give away a sale. But I want to introduce it in like an exciting, fun way that will catch
Yeah.
people's attention. So, but yeah, it's really exciting. And who knows, maybe I'll even do like a pop up somewhere for my 1 year anniversary. But I know I definitely want to do as much as I can. It's already been a year and it feels like it's flown by. Like, I can't believe I've done this for a year already.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, Pam, this is the big question. So I love asking guests this question at the end because I love hearing about business and I love hearing about the products we sell and the strategy and everything, but there's such a bigger purpose behind why we do all the things we do. So if you think about your life, I'm just going to say 30 years down the road, and you think back to all the people that you've come in contact with, the friends you've made, the customer that you serve, what are the things that you want people to remember most about the person that you are, how you lived, and this journey that you've been on?
I think the biggest thing is that like how genuine someone is. Like obviously, you have your boutique, but there's also a different side of you. Um, and building those connections, making people feel like they're loved, making them feel confident, motivated, just kind of being like their little sideline cheerleader. So I want people to
Mhm.
remember me as someone that's encouraging and motivating and kind. So I would like to say I'm nice, so I think I am nice. So, building
I think
all those relationships has helped a lot because the amount of people I have come back that I've met from, previous pop-up shops just to come say hi to me is kind of surprising because you're like, wait, they're coming back because of me. Like, why would they be coming back because of me? So I think it's just being genuine and transparent with like your customers. Transparency and honesty is really important as well. Because if they see something's not perfect, of course you're a person, so it's going to make them feel more relatable to you.
I love that. Being genuine, being kind goes such a long way.
For sure.
Memorable. Absolutely. Well, Pam, thanks so much. Congrats on winning the contest
Awesome.
and being on the show.
Thank you for
And
having
congrats on
me.
your 1 year anniversary.
Thank
You're so
you.
welcome. It was so awesome to have you.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope that you loved it. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a rating and review down below for a chance to be one of our featured listeners each and every week. For more information on our spirit of community over competition and how to access complete show notes and bonus downloads from our guests, head on over to theboutiquehub.com and join the community. We'll see you next week.